You were getting his best side for most of the time. Too.
Well, actually, it burned up. It literally burned up. I've never seen it. It says error, and I have no idea why.
Oh my gosh.
So thank God we have telephones. All right. I got a couple of things.
Uh-oh.
He is the most of everything in life. He's the most opinionated. He's the most irascible. He's the most disagreeable. He's the most inflexible. Try turning a knife around in his knife block to save his knives and he'll flip. He's also probably the most loyal human being that I know. He has given me alternately the best and worst moments in my life, and he hasn't died and left me, so I'm particularly pleased about that. I have been his chief chronicler since the first time I met him, and I remember the first time I met him when I went downstairs in the subway, and this maniac is running around. We had a little deli, and there was his store, my store, a beauty parlor, and a waterbed store. And the people in the waterbed store were all kind of like us, smoked a little grass, had a little fun, and they would go running around the subway doing what I don't really know.
We streaked.
Oh, great!
We took off our clothes and ran around the thing. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
you all know that he's pretty much a force of nature. And you know, somebody mentioned that he's I think or I don't remember which one of you said about his friends, and that they go all the way back to grade school, and that's true. But the underlying reason for that, I've discovered, is that he won't allow you to not be his friend if he decides to. If he hates you, you're just toast, and he ignores you. But if he likes you, he tends to eventually love you. And it's a quality that, when we travel, we've traveled 54 or 5, I don't even remember.
55 states?
54 trips.
Trips. We've traveled about 48 of the states.
Remember that.
And years ago, he formulated what really is true. Between the two of us, we're one complete human being, because he knows everything, and if you think that he doesn't, just ask him. And I know virtually nothing, except I know how to take photos, and I know how to have a little bit of fun, and I know how to break a few rules, things that he doesn't do. I've been around him at his worst, and a couple of times at his really worst, and once or twice at his really, really worst.
Well, tell us those stories.
No, they go to the grave with me. Well, I may record them.
Yeah.
Not with that camera.
Sorry. Anyway,
The snowblower pictures.
the only thing I can say derogatory about him is that he has been my mentor in all of the things that have been important for my success in life. And if it hadn't been for him, I would be blissfully unaware of almost everything. I wouldn't have a decent house, a decent family. I wouldn't have any professional success, and I would probably be a hell of a lot happier. But when I started to sell printing, when I came back from, when we moved here, I got a job in a printing company, and he was working for Marketing Plus then, or?
No, Metro.
No. This is when we used to meet at Denny's. weren't you on?
Yeah,
the-
Marketing Plus.
It was
Yeah.
Marketing Plus. And we knew the waitress.
Yeah.
Although neither one of us can remember her name, but I can remember her vividly.
Yes.
And on every trip we've ever taken, we do it always the same because I am highly inflexible and he is just this paragon of
Inflexibility.
spontaneity,
Yeah.
you know. So the way we work it is I rent the car, I get the hotels where he tells me to get hotels, and then he writes the itinerary. He picks all the places we eat, all the places we go to. He pays for that part of the trip, I pay for the hotels and the cars, and he comes up with the weirdest places on the planet. And when we go out to dinner or lunch or breakfast, we make friends with the waitress. One of the best nights or best days we had two in particular. One was in Skin Neck Titty, New York.
Yeah.
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 So bad.
Well,
That's what it was.
We go into the hotel and Rita's behind the counter and he says, "How do you pronounce this town?" And
Yeah.
she goes, "Simple, Skin, Neck, Titty." So, and then the other one was we pulled into I think it was Omaha, maybe. And I walked, and I had to sit in the car and finish a telephone call, and I walked into the hotel, and I have something I say every single time.
Which is,
"Hey kid,
how's life in the big city?
So that's how we start everything off.
Right.
So I finished because I was a salesman and I had a problem. So I walk into the hotel after he's been in there and I open the door and I go, "Hey," and she goes, "Kid, how's life in the big city?"
Did you marry her?
No, I've been for as long as I've known Bruce, I've been in a relationship. My first wife, my second wife, now my girlfriend, and they're all clamoring to get Bruce and Jan back out to California because everybody loves them out there. And he will not pick up a guitar where he says he has to perform. So I bought 9 guitars and got 25 people so that they would be his backup singers.
And we had a lot
we
of
do.
fun.
And we have a lot of fun. And he drives me absolutely batshit crazy a lot, although I will say that since I've turned 65, I'm considerably calmer when I'm around him. Although, never mind.
Marijuana.
Yeah, don't I wish. If we could go back to those days, life would be even better. When we sat at 8139
Yeah.
Kilpatrick.
Yeah.
But I want
That's was my 90.
Well, that's where I moved.
9200.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could tell a lot of stories about him, none of which he would appreciate, and I won't. But I am recording them for after my death, and he can't hurt me, and they will be on Netflix or YouTube or something, and then you'll learn all the grisly details. But he's been my best friend for 43 years, since 1973.
Long time.
And hopefully we'll just keep chugging along, and the next album will be still alive at 75. Anyway, thanks, buddy.
Okay.
And I want to take 4 minutes and show you one
Oh.
thing.
How did
before
you
we're done.
meet?
I'm going to tell you because I
okay.
didn't know that if he was going to, so I'm
Okay.
going to tell you. Can I talk about you, or are you going to show the movie first?
No, go ahead.
Well, you need to be here.
Well, let me get the movie. See,
So,
one of the things you got to remember.
Will there be popcorn?
Yeah, well, there could be. He's also, I mean, even though he's not self-aggrandizing, and he does have a kind of a weird sense about what his abilities are. He's the best guitarist I've ever heard in my life. He does tremendous creative stuff. I'm enormously jealous sometimes and always appreciative. And because I'm his chief chronicler, and you all have heard the CDs, and if you wonder how they come about, I'm going to show you. As soon as I can get this thing to work. Come on.
So about a month ago, I went into the studio for the first time and to make my next album. And I went in with the drummer, and then I was there last week, and then yesterday, David and Nowell and I took them to the studio. Nowell had been to this particular studio before because it's the same place that I made my last 2 albums, but Davey had never been to the studio. And you know, now that I'm retired, I don't have to worry about emails, and I don't have to worry about calling this guy back or calling that guy back. So I have no excuses for not putting out a really good product, and I have plenty of time to practice upstairs where, you know, the same thing, I don't have to worry about calling the customers and making sure that they're okay. So
Isn't that great?
it is great. It is great.
All right, so
all right.
hopefully you can see this. Yes?
Yeah.
From Settleson, AKA Electric Eddie.
Yeah.
So do you get to play on that now?
No.
When
So
was
this is upstairs in my studio here.
when?
3 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is about 4 minutes, 50 seconds.
Stop. So I told Noel, I said, you know, I need to have about an hour and a half to practice because we were going into the studio the next day. And I like to I need to practice upstairs, so when I get to the studio, because I have to pay for the time, I need to be able to perform right away and get it done without any problems. Yeah. So little did I know he would be recording the whole thing. Oh,
So Bruce, how come you don't perform?
I just don't. It's kind of a hassle. I didn't perform before because I think it's a full-time job. I really don't have much of an excuse anymore. So
You know, like Chris Nichols or
Yeah.
the Christopoulos boys?
yeah. Well, the Christopoulos guys don't play all that often.
No.
No. Yeah, I'm more intense than they are, and I can't just go and play and be nice. That's not my nature.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
It's more folky.
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't play at a bar like Chris does.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to play somewhere, I want to play at a concert with a focused audience. So
Oh, as opposed to somebody eating dinner and not listening.
yeah,
to
and a bar
exactly.
with TVs and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. Okay.
Your son?
So now we're in the studio. The studio's in Hoffman Estates. It's called Solid Sound. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Like when you're going out to the garage.
Oh,
Open the door?
is that the end?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. So.